Hey QuesoDivas, welcome to my fourth worst date of 2025. We're over halfway now. I do have a first date after this tonight. I feel like every time I record these, it's as a pregame to a first date. I don't know if that's bad juju or what, because every single one of my first dates last week was terrible. But one thing about me, I'm not going to give up. We keep getting back on the horse and trying again. My drink of the day is my jug, because we love my jugs. The rack and the crack, baby. I just drank an Alani energy drink and I need to drink water because it needs to offset. Today's story is very fitting because I currently am getting ghosted. And I really do feel like ghosting is just the norm these days. Like, more every day you're hearing news stories of people getting ghosted. I heard of someone getting stood up on a date yesterday. Someone showed up to the date and the other person just ghosted them. Low-key, that kind of happened to me one time. I think this is my last first date, which would make my final total 78 dates in 2025. Which is crazy. But you guys, I'm literally dating for a boyfriend. That is a question I keep getting asked. They're like, do you want a relationship? Yes! None of these men are up to my standard. But it's like, I'm just not going to give up. Like, he's out there and I'm like actively looking for him. I'm like, where is my husband? What's taking him so long to find me? This man's name is Russia. He's Russian. He's from Russia. My man. This was my one, situationship of the year, which just shows you how bad the pool was this year. The pool, because I feel like my year before I had highs, I had lows, I had a lot of different situationships. This year, it was just like, it was just kind of like flatlined. Like, everyone was just kind of like meh overall. Like, no one blew me away. Like, that's the thing, men aren't like blowing me away anymore. Like, I'm not impressed. So the thing is with this Russian dude, he was like 35, really Russian, like thick accent, but he would take me like anywhere I wanted to go in the city for dinner. Like, since he was Russian, he had really like old fashioned gender role standards. And it was like, I'm going to take care of the woman. Like, I am going to like pay for her. And he had no problem like dropping bands on me. It'd be like whatever you want to get at the restaurant. And I always got to pick the restaurant, which like in theory would be really annoying. I would want him to like plan these dates. But it was kind of like, all right, I'm not marrying a Russian dude. This is gonna go nowhere. He's also 35. Like, he had like just gotten his green card. I don't know. It just seemed like a lot of admin. So I knew like my expectations were like low from the beginning, but like I'm gonna go on a lot of dates with him, which means I'm gonna eventually get feelings for him. We probably went to like eight or nine restaurants together, maybe even like 10 restaurants together. We had like a lot of dates. I have them all logged in my belly because we were just going to like any place I wanted. This was so fire. And he always let me take a photo of it for my belly, and he knew I was like tracking it, and some were good, some were bad. Like, some were like disappointing, I guess. I would notice when like he didn't like the meal, he would kind of get like snippy after, like eventually. And it got to be very just like normal, like male behavior. Like, he can't like control his emotions. He gets so angry. I remember one night he like called me a bitch, and I was like, is this like should I report this? Like, told him, I said, don't ever say that to me again. But it was like his like culture, like he's Russian. He's like, beach. But he only said it once, and he was like, you're being a beach. Like, because I think I was just like being sassy or something. He told me, because like him and I spent a lot of time together. He was like, yeah, my one situationship. Like, we would just kind of like hang out and like do like slumber parties. Like, we'd spend a lot of time together. Because he was just kind of like funny because he didn't understand anything. But then it kind of got old pretty quick, because then he just got too comfortable with me. So I got really comfortable with him. And if you can't tell, I kind of break out into song at random times. And anyone that I'm comfortable with, I do that with. It's just kind of like one of my things. It's like one of my personality traits. So I started kind of doing it with him at random times. Like, I just sing random words. And he tells me, he was like, Claire, when you sing, you have the voice of an angel. But when you talk, you sound like a raccoon. A raccoon? I totally do. I totally get it. Like, he kind of got me with that one. But I was just like, oh my God, like he was just like saying this stuff to me. He was like, so just like random. So I knew it wasn't going to go anywhere. And so on our second day, he tells me he has this Russia trip like 3 months away. And he's going to be there for like a month, like back at home. This is his first time going back home, literally since like COVID or something, because he can't travel. I don't know. It's just, I can't marry a Russian. It's so much admin. And when he told me that on the second day, I was like, oh, no way we're still going to be talking like at that time. I'm like whatever. Like I just literally have that thought to myself. We continue to go on dates. We go on like one dinner date a week, every week, up until this Russia trip. So up until this Russia trip, I would say that we've been to like let me count on my date tracker actually. I went on exactly 10 dates with him, and they were all like dinner dates except for I think the first and the second one weren't. So for our last date, we decide, oh, this is like a crazy story. Throughout this entire time, all these places, we've always gone back to my place, my apartment. I've never seen his apartment. He lived far and weird, just like far away. But my last time seeing him was right before he went to Russia, and I was like, let's go to your area. Like, I want to see where, like, your apartment, where you live, like, what's going on with your world. And since I'm always picking the restaurants, I conveniently had a restaurant that I really, really, really wanted to try called Maison Pickle. We planned this date. We planned to meet at Maison Pickle. I take the subway up. I take the red train. I take it all the way up. And you know, a subway cart is like probably 10 cars and a ton of seats in each of them. And each one has 3 doors. I'm sitting on the train because he also has to take the one to get up to Maison Pickle. So we're both going to take the one. I'm sitting on the one. The door opens and he's standing right there. And I'm like, Russia? Like, wait, whoa, I was just on our way to our date. And I was like, wait, I was too. Like, we weren't texting or anything, like trying to pre-plan where we were going to be. Like, I was just randomly sitting on the train and he randomly ended up walking through that door. I was just like, wow, that's a crazy serendipitous like moment thing. And he is just like he just doesn't really care. Because I am an excited person, and that's like a very cool like thing to happen. And I think I got like maybe overly excited. I mean, no, I didn't get overly excited about it. I was just like pumped about it. And I was like a little annoyed that he wasn't like, whoa, that's so cool. That's the thing. He was just Russian. He was very like emotionless and very like hard, like very like rock hard. And he would like tell me a lot about like his culture and his like parents. He was also an only child. I don't know. Like Russians just live very differently than Midwestern Claire. Midwestern skillet queso in her queso castle. But anyway, we take the subway up together. We get out, and I remember it was raining that night. He doesn't have an umbrella, so he's automatically wanting to be underneath my umbrella, but I'm opening it. I'm holding the umbrella, and he looks at me and asks me, so where is it? Where are we going? And I was like, I'm holding the umbrella. Like, can you do the directions? And he's like, no, I don't know where we're going. And I'm like, you were also you were literally on your way there. I ran into you on the way. Like, we did not pre-plan to meet up. Like, you were already on your way there. Then he takes out his phone and he's like huffing and puffing, like looking up the directions. And it's not even far, but I'm like, it's raining and you're using my umbrella right now. It was just like annoying. And then he says something about like gender roles and like women should know like directions. And I'm like, I feel like that's kind of the man's job, like low key. Like, it started getting to the point where he wasn't even doing like the man stuff anymore, other than just like paying. So we get to Maison Pickle. Our seat is just not what I want. Like, it's a ton of booths, and we get like the one like interview style table in the middle of the restaurant where everyone's like running around us, like all the wait staff and stuff. So it's already overstimulating. He's giving me like absolutely nothing. And to top it all off, his shirt looks like there is a gender reveal on it. I'm going to put in a visual. It looks like he's wearing a gender reveal shirt. And I'm just like, what's going on? We have a bad table at the restaurant. I'm sitting down. I'm looking at the menu. There's 2 different menu items I really wanted because I saw them on the belly and they looked so good. It was like the burger and the French dip sandwich. Both look super good. And we kind of had this thing when we would go to restaurants because he knew I already looked at the belly. I knew what I wanted. Like, I'm really not that huge of a foodie, but like in this situation I like was. And so I had 2 I wanted. And he's like, I would always give him suggestions on what to order, and usually he would order like whatever I wanted. Like, he would just be like, yeah, sure. And like usually I would just like order kind of like for us sometimes, and if he had something specific he wanted, then he would like throw it in after, but I would always like order like random things I wanted. And the waitress comes over. I can't decide in between these two. So I tell him, you're getting the burger, I'm getting the French dip, but we're going to split them. And he's like, okay, like joking about me, like, oh, you can't make up your mind, like being all kind of like romance Italian vibes, you know, being like, oh, my girl can't make up her mind, like she needs both. The waitress comes over, so I like order that, and I think he wanted something like as an appetizer, so I was like waiting for him to order that. And he's like, when the waitress comes over, he says, you're not getting both. We're not getting both. I don't want that. So you're only getting one. And I was like, what? And like, that's totally fine if he said that, but we had talked about it before, and this is so embarrassing to say in front of the waitress because I sound like I don't know, and I'm just kind of like confused, and like he's like talking down to me in front of this waitress and being like, no, only one, I don't want that. And it's just kind of like embarrassing. And so I choose like the French dip, and that honestly just spirals me into a panic attack. And I'm frustrated because we went on so many dates and he was so like lovey-dovey like towards me on those dates. And I guess he was just like having a bad day. He was like, I've just been like packing. So I'm like, it was just always like a sob story with him. It was like, oh, my back hurts, my leg hurts. Like, I'm like, should I get you a casket? We've spent a lot of time together and he's just really giving me nothing on our like last date. And the food comes in, I'm just like literally like nauseous. Like I basically start having a panic attack. I start really getting in my head thinking that he doesn't like me, like all this kind of stuff. Cause then I have this desire to be liked and I have anxious attachment. So I'm not as cold-hearted as you guys may think. I'm not very cold-hearted. I'm definitely a lover girl, but at the end of the day, I am a Scorpio and I do have a bite. So I'm kind of like best of both worlds, Hannah Montana. So I start having like a panic attack in this restaurant in this chair, and my French dip sandwich comes and it looks absolutely delicious, but I have no appetite and I'm about to start crying because you know when you're like sitting and you need to start crying but like you can't, like I'm at a table right now where I'm having a conversation with someone, I can't start crying, like you have to hold it in and it makes you want to cry more. That's how I was like, oh my god, I need to cry right now, like I need to cry right now. And like I couldn't like have a conversation with him or anything, like I was just like feeling, and I think I was also like very hormonal and so like starting my period, like the week before my period I'll cry on like anything. And so I was also just like in that phase, like whatever luteal phase, I don't know any of the phases, it's crazy. I haven't had a panic attack in a while. This was probably like one of my only panic attacks of the year, which that's a good year, you guys. I probably only had like 2 this year, which the year before I probably had at least 5. So that's really good. I'm proud of myself. Because once I also started crying, I couldn't stop. I literally could not stop crying. So embarrassing because I'd never cried in front of him. I think it was also like the fact that he was leaving and he was leaving for like a month, and like really all we talked about when we were hanging out was his trip and like what he was doing on his trip and like how excited he was to see his family and his friends that he hasn't seen in like 5 years. Like pre-COVID is when he last saw them. So I'm like, yeah, it's been a really long time. So I think it was also just like the emotions of that and trying to figure out like, do I like this dude? And I kind of wanted to end things with him because I wasn't super happy. But I just didn't feel like I was strong enough to like, so we leave Maison Pickle and then we go to his apartment. And this has been long awaited because he always talked about his apartment, but we just never ended up like making plans and like going back there because it was just far from anything we were doing compared to where I live. This is in like a nice high-rise building, and we go up, he opens his door, and there is just a massive like professional, like probably like $2,500 massage chair just sitting in the living room. Just a massage chair, like that's his chair. Then he has like a love seat couch and then a giant whiteboard that was like on a rollie, a desk, a standing desk, like 7 monitors, and that was it in his living room. And I was like, wow, does this have a man's touch? The massage chair, it tilted me back. It was like 0 gravity. And I icked myself out while I'm sitting in the massage chair while he's looking over me. I'm icked out. Speaking of my gym, they just raised the price of my gym membership $10 a month. And they said it's because they added new things. They added those massage chairs into our gym, but they are front and center in the gym. So if you use them, everyone is just staring at you. I'm like, I would love to use that if you put it maybe like in the corner of the locker room or something, like where no one can look at me. But like, that's so awkward. Like, everyone in the gym is just staring at me get vacuum sealed by this massage chair. Like, no. Then we walk into his bedroom. This man in a New York City 1-bedroom apartment has a California king size bed. In this California king bed. Why in the world would a man in New York have a California king sized bed? I couldn't help but wonder. And the sheets are like Aztec print. And you guys know how I feel about Aztec print. Shout out to Beefy 5-layer burrito. And it's like just this like thin sheet. And I'm just like, what? Like, there's nothing else in this room. I think there was like one nightstand, a giant TV. And it's honestly impressive to have a 1 bed that's big enough to fit a California king. Actually, the people that lived in here before me in my bedroom, because I almost didn't get this place. I almost didn't apply for this place because the walls in here were like blue and it was like weirdly decorated. There was no TV. There was like, honestly, it looked like he lived here. There was like a lazy boy recliner in here and that was it. And then in there it was painted dark purple and there's a California king size bed in there. It had to have been, it was, the entire room was a bed. When I see the Cali king, I'm like, why have we been sleeping in my full? Why? Because this guy was really tall. He was like 6'4" or 6'5". I was like, why have we been sleeping in my full size bed when you have a California king here? But he's still being sassy, still kind of talking smack, like whatever. We just like ended up like falling asleep, waking up. He has work. I think it's like a Friday morning. So he's like working from home. And obviously like mommy's always working. Like, I mean, technically I'm doing boots on the ground journalism research for this story time right now. So mommy was working as well that morning. He was going to walk me to the subway and he was like asking me to wait until he was like done with the work. So I'm just like laying on the love seat like this. Like, it was the most uncomfortable love seat ever. It's another rainy morning. We like walk to the subway. We're like holding hands, like all muscled up. We're like, oh my God, like, I'm gonna miss you. Like, I'm gonna miss you. Like, you have to text me. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna text you. And he's like, I'm gonna send you photos of it. Because that was my big thing. I wanted him to send me photos of like what Russia looked like. I was like so excited to see. Because it's just so like interesting to me. Even he was saying like, don't go on any dates, you're mine. And like, I was going on dates throughout this time, but I really like wasn't going on many dates at all. Like, I went on like maybe like 1 or 2 during the time of us seeing each other. And I didn't really like, I mean, obviously I was gonna like keep dating, but I was excited for him to come back because he was gonna come back in a month. Like, he was gone for a month and he was gonna come back. And I was like, okay, yeah, we're just gonna continue, like whatever. Like, I can go on some dates during this month, or like I don't have to date at all. Like, it doesn't matter. Because I knew he wasn't the one, so I was like still looking. Like, passionately kiss and like all this stuff, and he sends me on the subway, and like I have my Maison pickle leftovers. I come home, I eat my leftovers. They're honestly so delicious, and I've been back to Maison pickle since. I brought my grandparents there when they came to visit as like a redemption story, and it was delicious. Love that place. So he leaves, we text, he sends me the photos of Russia. He's like telling me what's going on. He's saying, he's like, I don't have that great of reception because I'm in this certain town in Russia, like camping. I don't really know. We're not really texting like that much. And I wasn't really expecting to text that much while he was gone. I just wanted the occasional like photo or something of like what he was doing. And so he sends me a compilation of photos. And this big thing was that I knew that he was going to like a wedding. And I knew what day the wedding was because he had to get this like suit for it. He was like, I promise I'll send you photos, like all this stuff. And so I texted him and I was like, send me a photo of it. Like, how was it? And he was like, my texts like aren't going through. They're not sending. Then I text him back and I was like, oh, so like no more photos, because he like switched to green text. And then he just never texted me again. And we need a moment of silence for that ghost. That is the ghost of Queso's past. I have never heard from him again. I don't know if he ever came back to New York. I don't know if he got stuck in Russia. I don't know. My last text to him didn't send. I'm thinking he just like blocked me. I don't know. But so when I'm thinking about the guy ghosting me this week, I just know it's not as bad as that one. Because that one was tough. But that one it didn't like bug me that much because like I already wasn't like super, super into him and I didn't have to end things with him. But I was a little butthurt because I was like, wait, what? Like, you're just gonna ghost me? Like, I thought we kind of had something. I don't know. Like, I did think he really liked me. But that's number 4 of my top 10 worst dates of 2025. I'll see you guys tomorrow for number 3. Flip it around, Wicked Witch.